And I believe I'm joined with Phoenix right here, right now. Hello.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you so much for being on the show. Truly appreciate it.
Yeah, and thanks for asking me.
So, I first heard of you through a band by the name of Leaders and Kings. I'm good friends with those fellas. I've interviewed them in the past. They were under a different name at the time, and I've been keeping up with them since. And then I noticed this red hair lady, and I was like, okay, let me check her out. And you from that? You originally from Wisconsin, but you live in Nashville, Tennessee. Um,
Yes.
so you and obviously Nashville is known mostly for country music, and you are a pop singer, songwriter. You got this type of pop music. It's spelled. How do you how do you best describe
I
how do you best
kind of
describe yeah,
it's like rock soul pop.
Waxel
I
pop,
really
okay.
think yeah, like rock soul pop, and I spell it like ROXUL space pop.
Okay, so and there's plenty of blends as it pertains to this genre. What made you decide to go that route, considering you live in Nashville, which is very heavy when it comes to country music?
Well, I've never really been much of a country lyricist. It's not really like where my heart and my mission and my brand lie. So, it's just kind of the route I've been going like my entire life. I mean, I wrote on piano since I was 8, so no, my stuff is really definitely blended and morphed. And when I linked up with certain producers here in Nashville that I started working with and producing alongside, my sound really just developed into what it is. And now I like to define it as rock soul pop because I think that the rock edges that are thrown in are very apparent. And I grew up on rock music and the classics, and that's what my dad grew me up on, like Janis Joplin and people like that. But I've infused a lot of soul into it. I'm just very passionate with what I do, and it's pop in the way that it's catchy. Like I like to play with catchy melodies and just little nuances that I think fit well with a pop blend.
So Waxel pop is a mixture of pop melodies, soulful infusions, and a rock edge with a little R&B and hip hop influences as well. Um, multi-genre esque, if you will. And I've got a chance to play two songs off your EP, which you released as of last month. One song is called So Gone, and the other is called Classic, spelled with a K at the end. Uh,
Yes.
and I enjoyed both tracks. I
Thank you.
I I, I listen to. I'm mostly. I guess the perception about me is that I'm a hip hop fan, and I am. But I tend to listen to a variety of genres, especially on the local music scene here in Kentucky. And I've got a chance to interview artists that lives in Nashville, mostly country music. Um, and I've interviewed some hip hop artists. So, obviously Nashville, as I said, is country strong, but there is a variety of artists out there as well. And
Yes.
to your credit, you come in and you bring something different to the Nashville music scene, and um, definitely stand out.
Thank you.
And it's very cool to see. Um, talk about recording these songs, So Gone and Classic. Or better yet, talk about this EP that's been released, and what was the process like recording this EP?
Well, for this EP, it was really just a collection of songs that I had written, within a month of each other. Really, like every song and every track you hear on there, except for Classic, was really birthed around the same moment in my life, and it was really one of those times where Phoenix was really, brand new. I mean, I've always wrote and I've always, performed, and I've been doing this for my entire life, but I've been searching for like that funnel to that vein to put my creative energy through. And that is when I found Phenix, and it was really like a very spiritual thing for me. And those songs kind of represent that time in my life when I was, doing a lot of like soul searching in a sense, like for what I wanted to say, and it was very like empowering in that essence. And that's really where I was when I wrote the record, and I collaborated with a multitude of producers. But So Gone was the first track that was created for the record, and it was the first time that I was allowed to like sit down and work hand in hand with my producer on like where I wanted it to go. I've always like more so like to the point where I was pressing some buttons. So the record itself got, really more personal for me because I had such a hand on the production side more than I had in the past, even though I was always there. But it was a super revelation for me, and I've grown a lot past that, and I'm just excited to share my story as it goes, and this is really the origins of Phenix.
So, as it pertains to this EP, Phenix, it's available on iTunes, Spotify, and Apple Music. So make sure you go cop it digitally. And it's a very, very talented record. And as a matter of fact, you can also listen to it on SoundCloud as well. So
Yes.
this girl is literally on fire with this music. So give this record a listen. It's some good stuff, especially if you're into to multi-genre type of music, the way that Phenix has done. So you got a chance to work with a producer by the name of Toy Kelly, who is produced tracks with Madonna, Mike Ewing, also.
Mike Ewing is the producer.
Mike Ewing, okay.
And yeah. My bad.
I got it mixed up. Yeah.
No, I figured that's what you meant.
Yeah,
Mike Ewing is the producer I got to work with, and he has tracks with Madonna, Tori Kelly, and a lot of hip-hop artists as well. He's actually recently just started working with Mo. She's a Denmark artist, but she's done a lot of different tracks with, like, Major Lazer, and that's when she really hit the scene. So he's working with her on her album.
Also, Mike has worked with some hip-hop artists, Romeo, who was Master P's son, Cassidy, Jadakiss, and Jim Jones. So Mike has worked with a variety of artists over the course of his career. I want to talk about your relationship, your bond with Leader and Kings, because obviously that's how I heard of you. You performed, you done shows with them. They're definitely one of my favorite bands that's out. And you talk about having a chance to do shows with Leaders and Kings, and build a friendship with them also as well.
Yeah, they're some of my best friends in Nashville, and we met about a year ago, and I don't know, we really hit it off. They're just really great, honest, just good people, and you hold on to people like that when you find them, and we really just connect, and we're like one big family, and we use all of our powers as independent musicians and creatives, and we really link forces and really got each other's back. So it's super important to me, and we'll be friends for life.
Shout out to Leader and Kings, good people. I haven't interviewed them in a while. I may have to bring them back on the show for sure to get caught up with them. Now, how would you best describe the support that you've been getting from the from fans in Nashville? That still calls from the country music and everything. How would you best describe the support you've been getting for the Nashville crowd?
I think, it's really surprised me how well received my show has been. I really like it's the music and it's the show as a whole. I feel like when I get people that come out and even people that have known me, haven't seen me perform, and just an array of from strangers to good friends who just have heard the music but not seen the show. When I get out and connect with people and get to share my vision with them and show them really like my world, the response has been just really humbling. A lot of times I'll get people coming up to me and letting me know, like, thank you for giving me something to leave with. They're like, you didn't just, put on a show, but you gave us something to, like, think about, and you made us feel, and I felt like you woke me up, and you really gave it your heart. So, everything aside, I feel like people really feel my heart through what I do, and that's what resonates with them. That's what keeps them coming back, and that's what will help me to take over my city and really represent in a different aspect.
So you just begun your tour to promote this EP. You started on the release day in Nashville, Tennessee, and you was also at Charlotte, North Carolina, and you got some shows coming up in May, Whiskey River. Um, yeah, actually, yeah, that was a recent show actually. So you got some shows
Yeah.
coming up in the month of
Yeah.
May. You're gonna be in Orlando, May 6th at the Social. May the 11th, Music Room at Atlanta, Georgia. Peace up, A-Town now. Actually, you're gonna be at Atlanta back-to-back days, the 11th and the 12th. At the 12th at the W Hotel at Atlanta, and then you'll be back at Atlanta on June the 10th. Talk about this tour and how's it been getting a chance to perform at the shows you already been at so far.
It's been really, really cool because it's been, everything from full decked out, performance to more of my intimate, like stripped down music that, I can just connect and on a poetic level. And it's allowed me to just, really just connect with a bunch of different types of people. And that's really my goal and really what I aspire to do. It's those connections that really just fuel my passion and my energy level to keep pushing in this game because it's hard, So it's a reward process. It's work to travel. It takes money to travel, and it takes a bunch of different elements to do it, and it can be really stressful, but the reward is really just meeting the people and seeing their faces, and that's really what's been really great about this tour. Is I've met some really amazing, incredible people.
I gotta ask, as far as the rehearsals, you put a lot of hard work into putting together. I feel like the performance is definitely the one thing that music artist enjoys the most because after the countless hours of being in the studio and take after take after take, make sure these songs are on point, and then you get a chance to elevate the music by performing in front of the audience. What's the best way to describe a performance from Phoenix for those who haven't had a chance to see you perform in person before?
I would say it's more of an experience. I feel like I put a lot of energy and a lot of work to the detail of my show, and I keep growing that, and I keep getting better and more detailed, and definitely learning and picking up new trades and resources as I go. But I really feel like I bring you the world, and you get to step foot inside that with me for a while, and it's really personal, intimate. And it's really just about sharing energy for me. So I really love to be in an energy bubble with everybody, and we just exchange and uplift. And I bring a lot of passion and a lot of empowerment and strength through my performances and my persona, and that's really what I'm about. And I really bring that warrior mentality to the table, and I feel like it's something that's super unique, and you're not just going to come and listen to somebody sing a couple songs who has a great voice and who has good production and whatever else. Like, I just I really share my heart with people, and that's that's how I'd explain it.
Man, I need to see that in person. either I have to come to Nashville or you're gonna have to come here in Kentucky and show all that fierceness, that Phoenix rising, if you will.
Yeah, yeah,
So
for
that
sure.
a lot of artists have interesting stories behind their stage name. What made you name yourself Phoenix? Was it a childhood name? Was it something that came from fellow musicians? Anything particular? Like, what made you decide to call yourself Phoenix?
It's kind of crazy. I really just had a moment that it all just hit me, like a light bulb moment, and really a spiritual revelation. To be honest, my whole life I've really been drawn to the Phoenix. Um, I've done a lot of things that, really shown like throughout my writings and throughout my poetry and throughout my imagery and things that I was always attracted to. Like a lot of things I've always correlated with the Phoenix, and it just when I moved to Nashville, I was 18 and I didn't know anybody, and I just kind of got a place and I kind of just went at it. Like I just dove in, and I was from a really small town, and so it was really one of those moments where I just took off, and I felt like that was really my first flight, and I went through so many things in my life that boiled down to a moment where I was really in these ashes, per se. I really felt like I, just lit up in flames, but I just I came out of that moment, I rebuilt myself, and eventually, like, I flew again, and it was in that moment where a lot of things were leaving my life and a lot of things were coming in, and I really, like, I just morphed, and it just hit me one day, like, Phoenix, like, that's what I'm going to go by, like, that's what I'm going to channel this through, and from there, like, it's just been nonstop flight. I've really just, I've grown tremendously, and it's really been an identity in all itself. It's really like my soul.
I like the sound of that. And
Thank you.
it must be the red hair, it must be the fierceness, and
Yeah.
and it works. It's a good look for you. So,
Thank you.
for more info on Phoenix, you can check out her official website at www.phoenixmusic.com. And it's not like spelled like the Phoenix as in Phoenix, Arizona. It's actually Phenix as in Malcolm X music.com. You can check out her Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Uh, Links are on there as well, and her music, her debut EP, which is available right now, Apple Music, iTunes, and Spotify. You do have a guest appearance on this EP, and it's for the aforementioned Jim Jones is on there. I'm a fan of his. I'm a fan of Dipset, Diplomats, and the dude's on his grind. What was it?
Yeah.
What was it like having a chance to collaborate with Jim Jones?
It was pretty amazing. It was my first time in New York, and it was my first time, grabbing a feature on something, and it was really cool. We got to vibe in his studio downtown New York City, right off of Times Square, and it was a pretty classic studio. Tupac had been in there, and a bunch of other major artists. So it was just a really amazing, amazing moment. And I wrote the song, and a producer of Dwayne's Rock, he actually was who connected me with Jim, and he's the producer on the track. And we connected in a DJ's conference out in North Carolina like 2 days prior, and then it was like everything just linked up, and it was a pretty amazing time for me. Yeah, 21, my first time being in New York City, and it got to be in studio with Jim Jones. It was really amazing.
I mean, when he had that song "We Fly High," everybody was jamming that song back in the day. That was a hit record, and
Yeah,
so that was pretty cool because considering not every artist gets to be in the same studio, because of technology and whatnot. But the fact that you get a chance to be in the studio with him and record this song, it just shows that there's still that connection between the artists and producers and stuff like that.
Definitely.
So, but I guess that's where we are, on the music scene these days. Like, it's like me doing this radio show, for example. I have a co-host named Jeff. He lives in California. I live in Kentucky. And if you hear the show, it sounds like we're next to each other, but we're not. We got all these equipment or whatever, very similar
It's
equipment.
crazy.
So, um, but it was great chatting with you. I want to
Yeah, you too.
thank you for being on the show. Congrats on the EP, and best of success to you as you continue with the tour. The tour dates is also on the website as well. The remaining tour dates. She's gonna be at Atlanta, Georgia. So all you people in Atlanta, I need to check her out. But the rest of the tour dates is on the website. Best of success and congrats on the EP. Thank you for being on the show this evening.
No, thank you so much for having me. It was such a pleasure.
Great having you on. You have a great night. Have a great weekend.
You as well. You as well. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.